Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you'd give us your thoughts on your spring practice, your spring game, and maybe an early look at how you shape up for the 2017 season, please.
Well, first and foremost, we came out of spring healthy, and we had some guys that we kept out of spring, had some surgeries that didn't go through it, but we fully expect them to be back ready to go for summer workouts. This is a team, this is a veteran football team, this is the third year into the system, third year into our culture, and, everything's been established. We got a lot of guys returning that have played a lot of ball, and we've improved over each of the last 2 years, and with the returning starters that we have, with bringing back the guys of the Cortland Sutton, the Justin Lawler, and those guys that choose to come back, I definitely think that this team is again trending in a very much an upward position, and we had a really good spring that we're excited about the direction that we're heading. We didn't finish the year like we wanted. We had an opportunity to become bowl eligible and had opportunities to against South Florida here at our place, and just couldn't get it done. And obviously the last game against Navy was not to our standard at all. And so building on that, going into the off-season program, we've really stressed the difference between investing and spending, and investing time and spending time and doing things. So it's been really good. I'm excited about where we are with this football team, and as we get ready to get it back on the field in August, just the excitement level that's building here at SMU.
We'll take questions for Coach Chad Morris. Hit star 1 on your telephone keypad to go in the queue, and the operator will introduce you.
And we'll first hear from Bill Embody with Scout.com.
Hey, Coach, how are you this morning?
Bill, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Wanted to get your thoughts on your quarterback competition coming out of spring, and after being able to kind of take a second and look at the film from the spring game, what you thought you saw there out of the two, and then how do you see DJ Gillens fitting in the fall?
Well, I think that when you start looking at that, I think that, when obviously the disappointment of losing Matt last year really hurt, and it forced Ben into a position where he had to play. Maybe he wasn't as ready as we thought, or he thought, especially early in the year. As the year progressed, he got better. And then moving on into the spring, when Rafe Peavy, a young man, a transfer from University of Arkansas, coming in and having to sit out last year, and then being able to contribute during the spring, and then bringing in DJ Gillens, one of the top junior college quarterbacks around, and his dual threat capabilities. I really feel like we have a battle going on at quarterback right now. I thought coming out of spring, definitely the experience that Ben had during the season kept him at the top, but Rafe made a big push as spring went. And so I think we're coming into fall, I think there's going to be a great battle going on, and I'm excited to see it.
And were you done with your question, Mr. Embody?
Yes, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Morning, Dan.
You obviously spoke on the return of Cortland Sutton and just what you can say that does leadership-wise to your team and to kind of what you're trying to obviously build over the last couple seasons, just what he means to coming back.
Well, a guy that of his caliber, all-conference player, All-American, to be able to come back, a body size that he has, only playing college football for 2 years, he needed it in a third year. And, especially getting his NFL grade back, it was in the second round category. And I just shared with him that, look, we've coached a lot of receivers and put a lot of receivers in the NFL, and you need another year. You need another year to mature, another year to come back. You get to graduate from SMU in 3.5 years. And there's so much to gain by coming back. And improve his draft status. I mean, this is a guy that has just the sky's the limit for him. And so his leadership, his impact on this football team of coming back both on and off the field is just huge for us. And it's another veteran guy that has got a lot of game experience underneath his belt. That's helping us build this program.
And then as going off of that, you building this program, just what you can say from day one to where you stand right now, how you've seen the improvement and what you can say about changing the culture there.
Well, the culture's in place, and we've established it. Our players understand it, and you don't have far to look by just looking at what these guys are doing on and off the field. I mean, obviously our success on the field last year and the improvements we made from year one to year two. But when you look in the classroom, these guys are graduating. Every senior that's played for me is on track to graduate. They're on track to graduate in 3.5 years. We've broken GPA marks. We've got the highest GPA mark in the history of SMU for a football program each of the last 3 semesters. And so it's just the culture's in place. The players understand the expectations, and you're seeing it translate onto the football field and into the classroom and into our community. So I'm really excited about where we are and what's trending. We were so close last year to getting this team bowl eligible. Obviously, it had Tulsa took them to overtime. Had an opportunity to win it in regulation and just couldn't do it right there at the end, and went to overtime with at that point, we didn't realize how good Tulsa was, a 10-win team, and of course, Coach has done a phenomenal job up there, but and in South Florida here, another opportunity to win a game, and just, we just didn't quite have it, but yet we were so close into 2 of the top teams in our conference. And so, again, I'm excited about this team. I do think that this will be the most talented SMU football team that they've had here in quite some time. I know it will be in my tenure here, but when you start looking back over the last 8, 10, 12, 15 years, I think this will be one of the more talented teams SMU's put on the field with talent and game experience. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. We'll find out at the end, but I like where we are and where we're sitting right now.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
And next we'll move on to Ben Baby with Dallas Morning News.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Ben, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. You talked a little bit about that quarterback battle between Hicks and Peavy. How narrow is that gap right now going into the summer, and what do you want to see out of both of those guys?
Well, I want to see their leadership styles and leadership capabilities as they move forward and how to lead this football team going into what we call our 3rd and 4th quarter phase of our off-season program. And so I think over the next, 110 days, it's going to be critical for these guys as we compete. DJ Gillens is another one that's going to be figured into this mix. Ben right now is our starter, but it's great to have this competition going on, and especially as we move into fall camp. So I'm excited about it. It's a year ago, when we lost Matt and then we lost Darryl, we only had 1 scholarship quarterback on campus, and then we moved Colin Rock over from safety to quarterback in emergency role, and we were trying to redshirt him, and so there was a lot of things that we were having to battle behind the scenes that those on the outside didn't see. And had we lost Ben, it could have been really catastrophic from a season standpoint. But now that we've got 3 scholarship guys, going to bring a 4th one in the fall, and it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch these guys grow and compete.
Right. And also, what do you think the addition of Charlie Strong to the conference? What does that do for USF and the American as a whole?
Well, first of all, when you look at our conference in general, and it's really kind of crazy to say that I've been in this conference now for 2 years, and me and Philip Montgomery are like second in seniority here behind Ken, and that's kind of crazy when you start looking at it in that realm. But when you bring in Charlie and obviously know him very well, and just his impact in the state of Florida. I mean, he's going to do great things. He's taken over a great situation. One of the premier quarterbacks in all our conferences is right there, and so that he's got. So again, it adds just validity to our conferences that this is other programs, other conferences are looking into our conference and finding the what's next and who's next and the next up and coming teams, and so it says a lot, and it's no different with Charlie coming in. It just adds strength to this conference as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Get one more in for Coach Morris, please.
And we'll hear from Matt Murchell with Orlando Sentinel.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good. I'm catching up with some of the coaches and asking, after the announcement of the early signing period last week being approved by the council, I was wondering what your thoughts are on it and if you think it'll have a positive impact on what you guys do when it comes down to recruiting.
Well, I do. I feel like it will, because we talk to our players all the time and our recruits about commitment. What is commitment? And it's more than just a word. And so now with the early signing period, especially being in December, you've got an opportunity for guys that to sign at that point. And if they may be committed to you, and if they have an opportunity to sign, if they don't sign and say, no, I'm going to wait, well, they never really weren't committed to begin with. And so it gives you an opportunity to move on. And but so much of this is building relationships and to get these guys on board, signed so they can move on to the last part of their senior year and not have to worry about the month of January, how hectic it is on these recruits during that time. So I like it. From a high school standpoint, coaching high school ball in this state, it does put a little bit of a hamstring on some of the high school coaches that play all the way into the third week of December. And so, we've got to do a really good job of making sure that there's not any official visits that are taking place when these guys are in their state championship runs. And so that's something that we as a coaching staff will be really cognizant on, and making sure that we respect these high school coaches in our state and their playoff runs. But I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good for college football.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach, we thank you for the time today. Enjoy your off season. Look forward to catching up with you again in the summer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Coach Chad Morris from SMU.